Hey church girl, welcome to Church Girl Gang, a podcast where we get to talk about life, living for Jesus, and everything in between, and how that affects us in the here and now. My name is Kenzie, and I'll be your host, and I can't wait to dive into this conversation with you. Hey church girl, welcome back to another episode of the Church Girl Gang podcast. My name is Kenzie and I will be your host for today's podcast, and I'm so glad that you're joining me for another episode. Just a reminder that this season of Church Girl Gang podcast is our Summer of Secrets, and today I'll be unpacking another one of my deepest, darkest church girl secrets. You may have noticed that there was no new episode this past week, and I will tell you why. That's because I had the privilege of helping at a day camp, kind of like a VBS. If you're tried and true church girl, you probably know what a VBS is. But we put this on at my home church, the Connection Church in Austin, Texas. This past week, we hosted 2 simultaneous mega sports camps, and we saw hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kids give their lives to Jesus. It was incredible, and I am just so honored and humbled just that I get to be a part of this team and get to be a part of what God is doing here. My apologies for missing an episode, y'all, but I just want to take a second and encourage you in this thought, okay? There is nothing more important that you can be doing with your time than investing in the local church, not even doing a podcast, okay? Nothing should get in the way of you investing in the local church. I really believe that it's everyone's calling to invest in their local church. And if you're not doing that today, let me just take a second and challenge you, okay? Find a way to do that this week. I'm serious. Do not delay. Do not hesitate. Find a way to invest in your local church this week. God has placed you in His kingdom to grow His kingdom, okay? And the best place to do that is in a local church, a church in your area, because you're going to be surrounded by other believers who can encourage you. It's just a proven fact that we are better, we are stronger together. You know, a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken, and that is so true in the church context. So, find a church in your area, invest yourself there. When you do it, I promise you, your time and your energy is not going to be used in vain. It's going to bless your life, not to mention the lives of those around you. And who knows, maybe you can do something as cool as we got to do this past week and see hundreds of kids come to know Jesus. It was amazing. All right, well, now that I've gotten that out of the way, I will just step off my metaphorical soapbox. Thanks for sticking with me through that. Like I said up front today, I'll be unpacking another one of my deepest, darkest secrets. And the irony of this one is just too real, because it is something I have been thinking about and battling with over the past week. And it's funny because if you've listened to past episodes, then you've heard me say this, but I'm not just pulling these out of a hat or trying to just figure out how I've been feeling, but I've actually had all of the podcasts for this season written out and kind of prepared for a while now. And so God, in His great humor, decided that I would spend a lot of time thinking about this week before I jump into recording this episode. I think maybe He was trying to teach me a lesson, but now I get to share that with you all. So, I feel honored and privileged, even in the struggle, okay? And so today's secret is this. I struggle with my self-image. And to get more specific, y'all, sometimes I'm just not happy with my body, really, truly. But honestly, is that a shocker to anyone? Probably not. As girls, I think we all struggle with this at some point in time, if not like probably all the time, you know? I remember growing up, the first time I felt self-conscious, I was pretty young, but I remember specifically when I was about 5 years old, my family and I, we went to this little Baptist church in Luling, Texas, proud home of the watermelon thump. And my sweet mom, she would sew a lot of cute little outfits. Seriously, they were so cute. Cute little outfits for my sister and I. And of course, we wore them a lot to church. We actually were made to wear dresses every Sunday. Like in our house, it was kind of the rule, especially because we were the pastor's family. My sister and I had to wear dresses to church. And I also remember, wearing a lot of those like frilly socks and stuff like that. My mom would make me sleep in those foam hair curlers at night so that my hair would be curly in the morning. Anyway, my best friends also went to my church, and I remember they would show up in jeans and t-shirts. And I just remember being so jealous of them. But also, I was kind of embarrassed because I felt like I didn't fit in. And one Sunday, my mom had made these super cute, seriously, there's still a picture of these dresses. They're so cute, matching dresses for my sister and I. And they had this cute little gingham print with cherries all over. And my dress was blue, and Bethany, that's my sister, hers was yellow. And I think there may have even been like matching hats that we had. But either way, we came home from church, and after seeing my friends wearing pants to church, once again, I told my mom that I didn't want her to sew me dresses anymore. And you know what? She really didn't after that. And don't worry, because I felt really bad about this for, basically since it happened. So for about the past 20 years, I actually would think about this from time to time and feel bad, like maybe I hurt my mom's feelings and she didn't want to make me dresses anymore. But I talked to her about it not too long ago, and she actually told me, she was like a 5-year-old's bad attitude is not gonna hurt my feelings, like a whiny 5-year-old isn't enough to stop my mom. Okay. There were other reasons that she pretty much stopped sewing us stuff. But it was pretty striking to me that even at 5 years old, I could let the way I look get under my skin, I remember just going through elementary school and actually getting made fun of for various reasons while I was in elementary school, my weight, my freckles, my teeth. I kind of had like a chipped tooth, buck tooth kind of situation. My skin, I remember being made fun of like in PE because I'm so pale, y'all. I'm so pale. My face would turn bright red, not just like kind of red, but like red. When I would get overheated, and I remember getting made fun of for that a lot. There wasn't much that was off the table in elementary school. Y'all know elementary school kids, man, they'll run their mouths. And so anyway, the older I got, the more self-conscious I got. And, in fact, when I was about 12 years old, I put myself on a pretty strict diet. And at first, it was pretty innocent, I was just trying to eat healthier. Before that, I think my parents were pretty happy because before that, basically all I would eat was chicken nuggets. And I had been like a little chunky at the time. But then after a while, it almost became like an obsession to see how much weight I could really lose. No, there was no like eating disorder or anything like that. Don't worry. I was never like unhealthy necessarily. My parents wouldn't let me do that. But they watched me and they cared for me very well. But the trick here was I did begin to measure my worth by how much I weighed at 12 years old. I worked my way out of that phase, but once I got into high school, I became obsessed with fitness. When I was 15, I remember most days working out before and then after school. No one told me to do this. This was just something that I decided to do on my own. And I would get up super early and I would do like body weight exercises, that kind of thing. And then after school, I would just go for runs. I would run and run and run and run. And this became very important to me. When I started college, I really lost it, or more like, well, I really gained it. When I started college, I did not put on the freshman 15. I put on like the freshman 35 in the first semester. I literally went from working out twice a day to not working out at all and eating ridiculous amounts of food. I don't know. It was something about the freedom of being able to eat, once again, chicken nuggets anytime I wanted that I just did. And I probably, the second semester, I probably gained about 10 pounds, something like that. I was so embarrassed about this, but I didn't really know what to do, Now, listen, I've come a long way since then. I've learned to care for myself and my body as best as I can. And I'm not perfect, but I'm continuing to learn and to do my best. But I tell you all this not just to run my mouth, but to help you understand that I've been there, okay? Wherever you are today, however you feel about yourself, however you feel about your body, I've been there too. And I've learned 2 key lessons along the way that I want to share with you. So, the first is this, okay? Number 1, don't ever let the way you feel about the way you look affect what you do. Now, let me say that again. Don't ever let the way you feel about the way you look affect what you do. So as girls, there can be some very real moments where we feel like we may need to hide ourselves away or, hide our bodies or something like that, that we're too fat, too tall, not pretty enough to do XYZ, you name it. And you guys know what I'm talking about. I remember specific moments when I spend a lot of my time standing on stages, on different nights of the week, talking to people, singing to people, whatever that may be. But there have been lots of moments where I have wanted to not do that, do something that I'm good at, something I'm called to do, because of how I feel about the way that I look. Or, I've been tempted to just stay at home on certain nights because of how I feel about the way that I look, things like that. Listen to what I have to say right now, okay? This is very important. No matter how you look today, God formed you and He purposed you and your body for this moment in time, okay? He knew how you were going to look today. He's not surprised. He knew how you were going to style your hair. He knew the outfit that you'd pick out. Nothing is beyond Him, okay? He's not going to say, whoops, looks like I can't use her today. She's a little too bloated, that's That's not going to happen. That's not how God works. So if he calls you to do something today, walk in confidence in who he made you to be, okay? Now, I want to go back to my previous statement. This is important, so I'm going to say it one more time. Don't ever let the way you feel about the way you look affect what you do. Maybe you're out there today and you're like the complete opposite, and you just feel like a Greek goddess. Like, you feel like you have the most banging bod in the whole world. Good for you. We're excited for you. But just because you are proud of your body doesn't mean you need to show it off to the whole world. Okay? And you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. And yes, believe it or not, I've been there as well. Like I said, I have probably been in every type of mindset that anyone has had about their body. Seriously. Believe it or not, I have been there too. And when it comes to your body, I want to encourage you to act in a degree of modesty, okay? And I think we can ask questions like this, like why would I act in modesty, or why would I be modest? I mean, it's my body, right? And if God has made me beautiful, or I just feel so beautiful, why can't I own that? Why can't I be confident? Well, you can definitely be confident, but I think modesty and confidence are two different things. We can't always do what we solely want with our body. And I'm going to share with you why. That is because you belong to God. Your body belongs to God. Does God care what you do with the body he gave you? Of course he does. Of course he does. I'm going to prove it to you right here. Check out these verses from 1 Corinthians, okay? Your bodies, were made for the Lord, and the Lord cares about our bodies. And God will raise us from the dead by his power, just as he raised our Lord from the dead. Don't you realize that your bodies are actually parts of Christ? Run from sexual sin. No other sin so clearly affects the body as this one does, for sexual immorality is a sin against your own body. Don't you realize that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit who lives in you and was given to you by God? You do not belong to yourself, for God bought you with a high price. So you must honor God with your body. Okay? Your body, just like the verse says, belongs to God. And that's very important to remember. I want to dive into this other part of the verse as well, which says your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. I may be stepping on some toes right now, but I want you to just bear with me until we get to the end, okay? Because I really think that this is going to be important for you and for your life. How is a temple supposed to be kept? Does the keeper of the temple, does he let it fall into ruin? No, because a temple is an important place. It's a place where the Spirit of the Lord dwells, right? And so whoever is in charge of that temple, they're going to make sure that the temple is looking good. Okay, they're going to make sure that the floors are sparkling, that even if there's toilets in the temple, okay, they're going to be sparkling. Everything is going to be kept beautiful and clean because it is an important place. It is a holy place, right? It's a place that belongs to God. So my point is this: if that's how someone keeps a temple, and your body is a temple, then what should you be doing with your body? Listen, God made you beautiful, girl, and you need to own that. But part of owning the beautiful body that God has given you is taking care of yourself. Okay, I know this can be hard for a lot of us. Some of us feel really upset about the way we look. I know, because I have felt the same way this past week, if I'm being honest. And listen, I'm pretty good about my fitness routine, and I even eat pretty healthy. But I know, like this past week, when I start feeling bad about myself, I have to look back and realize that, hey, I haven't been doing as great with my fitness routine. I've been eating too much junk food. Hey, I have gone an extra day without washing my hair. And you guys know we don't wash our hair every day, usually, most girls, right? But you add an extra day on and you are not feeling good. You are not feeling good about yourself or the way you look. I promise, because I've been there too, okay? And sometimes these moments where we're feeling bad, they can get into our heads, they can get into our hearts, they can get into our souls. And really, all we need is to take a shower. Okay, all we need is to brush our hair. All we need is to brush our teeth. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I don't have a perfect body or perfect skin or anything like that, but I know for a fact that when I am intentional about taking care of what God has given me, not only do I feel better, but I know that I am honoring God. I'm honoring God because I'm taking care of what He has gifted me with. I know that this may be a hard pill for some of us to swallow, but girl, trust me, wash your hair tonight and you'll wake up feeling 20 times better than you did the day before. And you know what I'm talking about. This is not a surprise to any of us. And that's why my second point that I want to make today is this: take care of your temple. Listen, God made you. He formed you. He loves you with His whole heart. And that is where our ultimate worth and beauty and value comes from. If you don't know that or you don't believe that, then I just want to encourage you to take a minute after this and open up His Word, open up the Bible and start reading, and it will become evident to you, okay?